What's going on, Crimson Tide fans? Chris Daughtry here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, I know we normally talk just Alabama football here, but Hugh Freeze has really said some stupid stuff in the last couple of days. So I really just wanted to break it all down and kind of make fun of him and the Auburn Tigers just in general, because they are our little brother and they will never not be anything more than that. Hugh Freeze the other day was talking to the guys on the next round and just set the bar extremely low for Auburn fans. I could have not imagined what would have happened if Kalen DeBoer came in after being hired as Alabama's next head coach and said what Hugh Freeze said the other day to the next round. He said that their big goal this year was to just simply make a bowl game in 2025. So we're going to break all that down, what he had to say here on today's show. But if you guys hate the Auburn Tigers as much as I do and want them to lose every single game next year, go ahead and show it by liking today's video for me right now. All right, so Hugh Freeze was basically asked, hey, what is the expectation in 2025? What do you think you have to do? How many games do you think you actually have to win in 2025? And this was his response. He said, I'm not a fool. I think that we've got to go to a bowl game, not even win the bowl game, just go to a bowl game. And I think our administration understands that, look, I inherited a program that didn't have a top 25 recruiting class for 4 years. Remember that. That's very important. Top 25 class in 4 straight years. You're not going to win in this league. We've had now 2 full recruiting classes, both top 10, and I think one more, and our roster looks complete. Here's the thing, Hugh. That's a lie. This is all going back to 2015 here. You can see, look, they had Gus Malzahn as the head coach from 2013 to 2020. So you go from 2016 on, 9th ranked recruiting class, 10th ranked recruiting class, 12, 13, 8. And then you hire Brian Harsin in 2021. And granted, it was not as good as it was the couple of years before, but still, 21st recruiting class there, 19th recruiting class. And he didn't even get 2 full years. You hire Hugh Freeze in 2013. He's obviously still their head coach now. So you had 3 years there, 18, 21, 19. That's still in the top 25. That's just 247 Sports. You look at the On3 rankings as well. It's pretty much the exact same thing here. So for Hugh Freeze to come out here and just gaslight Auburn fans and the Auburn community and say that, hey, poor me, I, wasn't set up very well to take this job. I've got to build it from the ground up. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, Hugh Freeze. Nick Saban did not have a good setup either, and you see what he did. And, buddy, we'll talk about that here in just a second. But let's go back to the first question. Will Auburn make a bowl game in 2025? You've only got to win 6 games to make a bowl game. And through 2 seasons, Hugh Freeze has not been able to do that yet. So let me know what you guys think here at the pinned comment of today's video. Will Auburn make a bowl game? Type Y for yes or N for no at the pinned comment of today's video. All right, so, this is a democracy, so go vote in the comments. And talking about democracy, man, Hugh Freeze might be the next Auburn head coach to actually enter politics. I am convinced that Hugh Freeze doesn't know about the internet. He must still be using those burner flip phones that he was using back at Ole Miss, because those didn't have the internet, and he obviously doesn't even realize that the internet exists. Then, the craziest thing about this too, he was told that Nick Saban was able to go at least to the SEC championship in year 2 as the head coach at Alabama. And his response was, I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, he generally sounds like the politicians that told us over the past 4 years that Joe Biden was sharp as a tack when we could clearly see the mental decline. The guy is the equivalent to the scummiest used car salesman that you could find out there. Auburn fans, I don't feel bad for you either. They chose this life. They chose to get off the Gus bus. The only coach that ever brought them success was Gus Malzahn. The national championship that they won back in 2010, that wasn't on Gene Chizik. That was Cam Newton in Gus Malzahn's offense. And, after, one season, of really bad football under Gus Malzahn. They go and fire him. They complain that he's not good enough. They can get better. You go hire Brian Harsin, you look like crap under him, and then you go hire Hugh Freeze, and you look like even more crap under him. They chose to root for the team that named a cow named Bessie as Miss Auburn in 1979. So I'm sorry, I do not feel bad for Auburn fans. They have always been the little brother, and they will always be little brother. I do not feel bad for them one damn bit. We'll come back to this here in just a second, but if you guys need a Father's Day gift, we got a new shirt here from Fanatics. You guys can go to chatsports.com/Bama Polo. They call it their Scenic Polo. I think it's really cool. They've got a bunch of cool stuff on there. They've got buildings on campus. They've got the stadium. I don't even know what this is right here. It honestly looks like a dead body. Who knows? Maybe it's Hugh Freeze on the field there for Alabama. So I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a really cool shirt. You guys can get it for Father's Day just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Polo. It's normally $100 right now over on the Fanatics website. If you use our link, it's only $50 right now, so you can save 50% off on that just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Polo. All right, so the only thing that I can think from this is Auburn is okay with winning 5 to 7 games a year as long as they have a top 10 recruiting class. They didn't even let Brian Harsin have 2 full seasons. And both of those coaches, both Brian Harsin and Hugh Freeze, both started off their career coaching at Auburn 9-12. What are we even doing here, man? That should make things even worse. Brian Harsin was just as bad or good, whatever you want to call it, with an even worse roster. You see right here, Brian Harsin, 9-12, only coached in 21 games for Auburn. It's not very good at 42.9% winning percentage. Hugh Freeze, 44% winning percentage. What are we talking about that, Hugh Freeze is some big step up from Brian Harsin? It makes absolutely no sense. You run this guy off after, saying that he's cheating on his wife with some staff member, even though it's not true at all. What kind of crazy thing are the Auburn fans going to make up when Hugh Freeze starts off the season, 3-3? 3-5, whatever it's going to be, because I have no faith in Hugh Freeze as Auburn's head coach. And, they ran Brian Harsin out of town. What are they going to do to Hugh Freeze, man? It's not good down there on the plains. They talk about being a family over there on the plains. It's not a family at all. In the 10 years before Nick Saban was hired as Alabama's head coach, Alabama had three 10-win seasons. So you can lose me with this, I wasn't set up for success nonsense. If you were set up for success, Brian Harsin would never have been fired. The point is, good coaches find a way to get it done, and Hugh Freeze, at the end of the day, is not a good coach. The only reason they hired Hugh Freeze, by the way, is because he beat Nick Saban when he was at Ole Miss, and then guess what? They went and got Jackson Arnold out of the transfer portal because he beat Alabama at Oklahoma. They think that's going to solve the problem? I don't think it's going to solve the problem at all. So let me know here in the comment section of today's show yet again, how hot do you guys think is Hugh Freeze's seat going into the 2025 season? Scale it for me, 1 to 10. 1, it's pretty cool. Nothing to worry about there if you're an Auburn fan. 10, you think it's scolding hot. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of today's show. All right, so Hugh Freeze's biggest thing here was saying that I wasn't set up for success, saying that, we didn't have, 4 straight top 25 seasons before I was hired, which we just fact-checked, complete lie. Let's look at Washington before Kalen DeBoer was hired compared to Auburn before Hugh Freeze was hired. Kalen DeBoer was hired at Washington 2022-2023. Or that's when he was at Washington. He was hired in 2022. 16th recruiting class, 15th, 18th, 26th, 59. Every single season, Auburn had a better recruiting class, and guess what? Kalen DeBoer went to a national championship in his second year at Washington. Hugh Freeze is just trying to gaslight the Auburn fans and honestly the Auburn administration as well into thinking recruiting is the only thing that matters. Somebody really does need to tell him that you can still crash a Porsche if you're not a good driver.